So what do you got this week?
Okay. Well, first of all, welcome. Where's my camera? Welcome, everybody, episode 9. Last week, Brent broke down, I don't remember how many it was, but quite a few, what he considers life/tech hacks. And so this week, I'm going to go over some of mine. I mentioned them briefly. I have a few that I'm actually currently trying to modify a little bit. So we'll see how well that goes. But before we start that, anything come up over the week, Brent?
Mick Brent?
My son's
Nope.
name.
Mick Brent had nothing show up. No, there hasn't. I almost bought some software that you had sent my way as means of a link because of my video software is not great right now. Well, I mean, it's suitable, but it's not certainly by no means professional. I'm using iMovie. Are you okay?
I was just seeing if it was going to distract you.
Okay, I wasn't looking at you, but when I looked at you, it distracted me. Yes. So there's that.
That happens out here to most people. Yeah.
Okay. And I use iMovie. That's what I normally use, iMovie, and then Handbrake to compress it, and then I send it to you. My eyes are awful sensitive today because I don't know allergies or what it is, but that light is right above the camera, and it's about to fry them up. So, as usual, I will be looking away from the camera. But that's about it. I still have not purchased that other program, whatever the name of it was, the iOS movie editor.
Yeah.
I still will do that. I might even actually do that today because I'll be waiting on my daughter. So while she's doing her thing, I will probably be testing out that app. But anyway, no, nothing major. That's really the closest thing to anything. Are you okay?
Okay. Good.
My eyes have been
sensitive. My eyes have been sensitive as well, but once you mentioned it, all of a sudden the fact that I've got a light here and a light here came to reality, and my eyes just started to burn like mad. I already have a couple problems with my eyes. They're at least what the doctors are saying are allergy related, but they're super sensitive to light, to wind, to heat, hot and cold. They're sissies, is what they are. Yeah. And
you're a big man.
They've been.
But it's
yeah, I tell a lot of people, if you look at me, I look angry and I look tough, but on the inside, I'm decaying faster than most. So
big, rotting marshmallow. Well, rotting, that's a bit harsh, I'd say.
That's all right. What are you going to do? So hopefully they'll be a little bit better, but they might be red, or at least every time I look off this way, by the way, that's how I have my iPad set up over here, and that's my big screen. It's linked to my camera. So, and this will help keeps me in focus, which is a good thing. So anyway, my hacks, most of them are tech related, but I'll try to throw in a few things that I guess could be considered hacks, or at least things that I've implemented in normal day-to-day life to make things a little easier. One is, I'm not sure if we've talked about this guy before, this little band wrapped around my wrist. It's paracord, parachute cord. It has a little hook. I bought a pack of 10 or 20 of these little hooks. I'll put them in the description. I might even throw up an image on the screen. And I wear it for two reasons. One, I've always wanted to look, even as a child, I've always wanted to look like an aging rock star, and I think this helps. So there's that.
You're nailing the aging part.
Well, thank you. Yeah. The other thing is, which is the main reason I have it, seemingly in my day-to-day life, but also here at work, I need to kind of lash some things down, whether I'm strapping something to a hand truck. I've got a big, huge Pelican case with audio, video equipment in it, but a lot of times all the time, my lights don't fit in it. So what I do is I actually have another bag for the lights, and then I use this guy, because I don't have any bungee cords, and lash it to the Pelican case. Sometimes if I'm in the car, I use this to strap things against. I have a SUV, and in the back it has those hooks that you can hook stuff to. So I use it as well inside there to kind of make sure things don't bounce around and whatever else. So that's actually the main reason I have it. Some people do look at it kind of strange, and I have a tendency not really care what other people think. So, but a few have asked. So this is the reason why I wear it. But not necessarily wearing it. I wear it for convenience, but have something with you if you do find that you're always in a position to where you need something like that. For a while there, I did carry something similar in my backpack because I carried my backpack with me everywhere. But I don't always carry the backpack anymore. I don't like to have 1,000 things in my pocket or pockets. So now I've thrown it on my wrist. So that's one kind of an interesting / weird thing that you could do. Another thing is a little more simple. This is just a standard run-of-the-mill Sharpie. Carry a Sharpie everywhere you go. Preferably one that actually still has a point on it. Mine's getting a little rounded, so it might be time to replace it.
So do you
carry a fine tip.
Do you like that size of Sharpie better, or do you care for the pin-like Sharpies?
I like this size because it stands out a little better, being that it's much thicker. I always find that if I'm using, for instance, let's say you're somewhere and you want to write your name on a cup, and you write it with the fine tip Sharpie, it doesn't pop, it doesn't stand out as much. Whereas if you write it with the thick, big guy, it helps. But, not just laming your cups when you're at a party. This has other benefits too. Oh, I just noticed I get distracted really easy. The shadow on my face. But it's one idea. Carry at least a pen or a pencil, but I always recommend the Sharpie. My wife got me into this. She probably has the 4-pack of different colors with her everywhere she goes. But this definitely helps to write your name on stuff. At least for my kids, I would say this is probably what it gets used the most for. They have a tendency to grab a water bottle and then get in the car and then drink like a fraction of it, but now it's open, which in my opinion is ruined. I don't want to touch it. They've got cooties. So, and of course they never did it, right? It wasn't me. I didn't do it. But our car, every time we end up getting somewhere, we've got 17 water bottles with varying levels of water still in them. So we label just their initials on top. Now, of course, they could go switch tops, but they haven't figured that part out yet. And hopefully they don't watch this because then that'll give them some tips. But anyway, so, a Sharpie. One thing I just finally bought a new version of this. I've had it. I broke it. And so my keys are a mess, but I actually really love this guy. This one is specifically Key Smart. And so you basically through this here, you put your keys, they sit inside here flat, but it keeps them all together and keeps them from kind of dangling around. And I used to have my flash drive in here as well. So I'd have my keys. I usually have 4 standard keys. Those are in here, my flash drive. And I'm working on another version of this, which will have not only my keys in it and my flash drive, maybe, but last week I showed the little pigtail for my lightning to headphone adapter.
Right.
I'm going to try to find a way to squeeze that in here as well. So what we're going to do in this episode is we're going to talk a little bit, show some of these, but then we're going to cut to some video of me, some B-roll, I think is what they call that, of me working on what I'm talking about right now, which is it'll show up tomorrow. I bought another one. This broke. It's a threaded piece right here. I still have the piece that goes through and actually threads into it, but the thread on that side broke. So it's useless right now. I'm going to try to drill it out. I might use it for something else, but as it stands right now, it's broken. Got a new one coming. I'm going to try to put keys and my lightning to headphone adapter in here so that it's at least one extra layer of protection for the headphone adapter as well. So we'll have a video for that in a minute or so. But I finally brought in my headphones. So these are Sennheiser HD 439s. They are fantastic in how they sound. They are comfortable as long as you don't wear them more than 43 minutes.
Very specific.
They really, pretty specific. Yep. They actually hurt me right behind the ear. It's kind of weird. Not on the ear where most like on ears. This isn't over the ear, but you can see put it in here. It's more of an oval instead of a circle. So I try to tuck my ears inside there, and then I can feel it kind of hitting the back of my head, which is uncomfortable after a while. Pushing on a nerve, maybe. But anyways, being that they're Sennheisers, I'm allergic to the pain. Right here, you can see a little nub, if you will. I'll put the picture of that up as well. They come with a cable that fits inside there, and it's a 2.5 millimeter. Your standard headphone jack is a 3.5 millimeter. So what I had to do is I bought a 2.5 male to 3.5 female, pushed it in. I had to use a small file to kind of make it fit, pushed it in, and then to fill the void, I just used hot glue. Filled the whole thing with hot glue, and then used basically like a credit card or something to scrape it so it's soft. And then, see, full circle, used a Sharpie to paint it black. Look at that. You can't even tell.
Yeah,
it looks so original.
Happened. Looks like it came from the factory.
Like it's a factory. That's how good of a job I did. But anyway, so when it's all said and done, you only look slightly ridiculous. Here, and I'm going to put it together. Oh, I forgot. This was an MPOW, but there are other brands. It's a Bluetooth receiver. So not a transmitter, it's a receiver. It has a little headphone jack, a built-in battery that charges by the mini USB. And then this is just a little 6-inch or so, 3.5. So it goes in here. I have Velcro, or hook and loop, as it's actually called. I put it on, and I hook it together. So far. And then, there you go. Now I've got Bluetooth headphones. It looks like it just came from the factory.
It is almost
like this was totally
as svelte as the AirPods. Yeah. I mean, you could really give Apple a run for their money.
They have been mistaken for Bose before because of how clean they are. Exactly. You look from one side to the other, there's almost no difference.
Can't even tell.
Look at that. That's pretty great. I was wondering why I couldn't hear you anymore.
I wasn't saying anything.
Now,
important.
Being Bluetooth and being inexpensive Bluetooth, I think that receiver was only, I don't know, maybe $15. The quality of music is not that great. I don't use them for music. I use them when I'm watching either podcasts or other videos or movies. But it definitely gets the job done, and the battery life is good enough to take care of business. So what I'll do is I'll, if I have time after doing the KeySmart video, because I think this is super important to me. I hate when I walk and there's a jingling sound, and I also hate
with 4 keys. Exactly how do you walk?
Well, I've got you saw the keys last week. I've got the 4 keys. I've got this week they change regularly. I have Star Wars fans will be mad. I forgot his name. Chewbacca. He's missing an arm. He's in an argument with the headphone adapter, and then my other keys for my car, all there together. And so when you put it all together, they make that little jingling sound, and it drives me crazy. So,
by Chewbacca, are you referring to a USB stick by any chance?
It is a Chewbacca Lego man.
Just okay. So no USB.
No, that's just a standard
card.
Just a standard USB.
Okay. So you just have a thing on your.
So when it's all together, this is what it looks like.
Inside the little metal thing you're talking about. What is?
Yeah, you sandwich everything. You sandwich all of this.
I could tell how they one broke. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Unfortunately, I've got the giant ghetto key for the car, but basically these 4 go in here. Again, I used to have the USB in here as well. I have on order some Lightning female. They're actually Lightning extensions. They're about 6 to 12 inches long, but I'm going to cut off the end. I'm going to sacrifice them. They're like $7 for a pair. So that I have this, because I already have this, the 3.5 millimeter from last week. Now I'll have the female side of this, and the idea would be to kind of fold it over so it's doing one of these businesses.
You feel like that'll be strong enough to hold it?
Either separate or inside of here. Now, again, I do have this extra one that I might rig up with just a couple of washers and some screws. So if it doesn't fit in the new one, I'll probably use this. But it has fallen off twice this week already. So last week when I went around saying, hey, it never falls off, it's great, I still got it, it fell off twice in 1 week. So, and that just over time, I'm sure it's just going to get looser. So by having it kind of hooked together inside of something, these are all guesses. I mean, by the time I do it, it might not work. But so we'll roll that video in there. And matter of fact, why don't we do it? We'll do it right now. Here it is. So here is the hack, if you will, to take a Key Smart, which I like because it keeps all my keys from jangling around too much. This is the new one. It's actually pretty big compared to what my old one was, but it works just fine. If you remember from 3 seconds ago, I would hang this from my keychain using just a standard 3.5 millimeter. Well, what I did was I took my old Key Smart, drilled bigger holes so that some barrels, these are the original barrels that came with it. Ooh, hello. And they just simply have, one side has threads on the inside, the other has threads on the outside, and then they, of course, they go together to go in the middle here. These are actually bigger than this, so I had to drill through here to make it bigger. I had to drill that hole to make it bigger. And then I took this, which is I think it's $7 for a 2-pack lightning connector female to a USB-C male connector. Cut off that, actually just took some pliers and ripped it right out. Drilled a hole of the same size, again, not this diameter here, but same size as the new ones, which I believe was 6 millimeters. And then put it in my old Key Smart, which I think you can see here is actually shorter. I do like the shorter length for keys. I found a problem with it though. It still works. That still works. That works just fine. But my idea was to bring them together. Ta-da! That's how it works. And then you just kind of fold them in on itself. And there it is. That's nice. Keeps it all nice and tidy. The loops will very rarely catch on anything. If you want to get a little crazy, you can put some Velcro or something around here. But this is the problem I'm seeing. That bend is too extreme. So I'm going to have to make, well, I don't have to, but I'm still going to. I'm going to make a new version, whether I'm using the Key Smart, the longer Key Smart maybe, or none at all. We'll see. We'll see how that works. But this is just, it's too much, too extreme. But as it is, I put it on my keychain so that they're sitting side by side. That's why these are not centered in here. On the keychain, they hang on my key ring, and it just keeps things a little more organized. And that is it.
Well, that was a great video. We enjoyed seeing Bryce.
I worked really hard on it.
Yes, that and or those together. Clearly, we know exactly what took place there.
That one video or possibly those videos.
Those are all probably really good. So thanks, Bryce, for putting that together.
I'll put links to in the description to all of these things, just in case someone wants to try something similar. I'm always trying to think of different things to put together. That's part of the reason why I buy all these little iPhone clamps that have tripod connectors. Is where can I hook them up? Where can I connect them? Where can I put them? I've got a selfie stick that I carry everywhere, and it's not always just so that I can take a picture of myself, because I don't really that often. But I use it more to extend it, and then I can hold the pole really high, either get a nice shot above everybody and kind of pan it around if it's video, or look inside of an attic or in a gutter or here at work, on top of a projector or something. So
have you ever
using
thought
things
about? Do I have it over here? I'm buying an endoscope, and this
sounds familiar. Is it that tiny camera that hooks to it?
Yes, I'll show it to Bryce, and then I'll show it to you all.
Okay,
You see that? And then to you all, let me click on it. It works with a phone. It's not. There we go. Now, I've only played with this once on my phone. I have this one works with a computer. I'm sure you saw that you saw the front notebook, just Windows something or other, and then Android. I have what is that thing? A Nexus 5X? Is that what that was?
Sure. The phone.
And I just plugged it in to see if it. Yes, I don't use it it's not a daily driver. I did use it that way for about 6 months, but I just plugged it in to see if it works. You have to download an app, and it works fine. There was a time when I was running wires, and I did very similar to you, but in a wall, I had a 5C. Or no, I'm telling you wrong. It was not this one because this one is destroyed.
Yikes.
Yeah. But it was a white version of this that was not destroyed. Anyway, I could fit this in the wall, take pictures, because I was not able to get the wire up. There was something blocking it, but it was not a fire break or anything like that. So I was trying to figure out what it was. So I took pictures using that. So this right here will serve those types of purposes. And I was just thinking, might be handy for what you're talking about instead of carrying that big old selfie stick around, unless it's got a carabiner or something on it that helps you not have to hold on to it all the time.
Well, it has a wrist strap, lanyard, if you will, and it condenses to only about 6 or 7 inches tall. Okay. So it's pretty small. And then the button one thing I don't like about this specific selfie stick, I'm a huge fan, I think I've probably mentioned in the podcast before, excuse me, is I like burst mode photos. And that's when you hold down the shutter on the phones and it takes a bunch of pictures. I like to use them because you get more options now of photos. You can hopefully get everybody with their eyes open, but also you can turn it into a video or a GIF, and whatever you call it. But this specific one that I use here at work, the selfie stick has a single button that turns the selfie stick on because it's rechargeable, as well as takes the picture. So if you go to push the button down to take a burst mode, you're just turning the selfie stick off. Nice. So that kind of stinks. I've got another selfie stick that actually is longer when it's extended, but also longer when it's shrunk down, de-telescoped.
Can you take?
And then I bought a separate one for that.
Have you ever tried burst mode on the timer? You know how you can set like a 3-second delay or a 10-second delay? Well,
whenever you do that, it takes 10, right? It takes 10 pictures.
Well, that's what I was asking. I haven't tried it because I don't take selfies or I don't use a selfie stick to see other things. So I don't know. So that's what I'm asking. So,
yeah, if you use, for instance, with the Apple Watch, or even if you put the self-timer on the phone, it takes 10 pictures of whatever it is you're taking pictures of.
Well, that would be handy.
And I believe it's in a burst mode style, so it's really fast.
Right.
The downside is if you did have flash turned on, I believe you're only going to get one picture with flash. Everything else will be without flash. So something to keep in mind there. But
strap a flashlight to the selfie stick, little super small.
Yeah, they make little LED lights that plug into your headphone jack if you have a headphone jack. Yeah,
you could use a dongle; it would just hang down.
You'd have to be balanced properly to be aiming in the right direction.
That is another thing I like about this. Again, I haven't used it for anything that was dark, but it does have a light right around the front of the lens. So if it was going into a dark location in an engine or whatever it may be, it has its own little light source. So that's nice.
Yeah. Well, there's some side volunteer stuff that I might be doing that's regarding, or that will be working with running a lot of cabling, low voltage, audio, video, telephone, things like that, alarms. Something like that might come in handy, even if you're just holding the phone or iPad up, looking while someone else runs it. But we'll see. I'm not going to worry about it. That one, I don't know that specific model, but there is one that goes on sale a lot on Amazon. It shows up in their deal of the day page.
Yes. I think I bought that one because I don't know if it's specifically that one, but there was one that I bought before this that said it works with iOS as well. But I sent it back because what I was specifically wanting to use it for device-wise was that Nexus that I have. And it said USB-C, but it did not ship with the USB-C adapter. And I could have bought another adapter and whatever, but But I just ended up
Yeah.
sending it back. And I ended up getting this one, I think, about $5 cheaper on sale or whatever. I don't know. But it's sufficient. I haven't used it really anything yet. But anyway.
One of these days. Well, that's all I have for today. I do, some other things I would recommend is carry a battery backup with you whenever you go anywhere. I think you leaned right into the microphone and then did that. So that was good.
So what he's talking about, those of you who didn't hear it, he heard it because of this thing. I lowered the volume.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yes, I sniffed. So basically, throughout this video, if you see my head dip a little bit like that, it's because I'm sniffing, but I'm being polite to you all, but not to him.
Yeah, well, and thanks for telling me now. You probably could have said that in the beginning.
Yes.
And, hey, 5 subscribers.
There we go.
What?
Picking up the pace
That's
here.
Crazy.
Steamroll.
How many are you?
How many am I? I might be one of them. I don't know. I may have subscribed. I can't remember.
I don't think I have. I probably should, but I know when they go up, so I guess I don't need to be notified.
That's true.
But yeah, so anyway, so battery backups, I do recommend that. I have actually this light that's here on the side is plugged directly into a battery backup. One of free ones. A lot of companies, if you work for a company that gives stuff away, the free ones everywhere, but goodness gracious, you go to almost any store now, they're right there for $5. Even the small ones, at 2,000 to 3,000 milliamp hours, they're basically just a couple AA's on the inside. Most bigger phones will not get 100% charge, but if you're at 0 to 10%, they'll definitely get you to 25 to 50%, enough for an emergency phone call or a couple texts, or I keep mine, like I said, this light's on it right now. I have a 23 or a 20,000 milliamp that I carry in my bag. It's heavier than like 3 phones put together, but I can charge the phone, 5 times or something like that. So not that I do it, I actually use it for my daughters because she never does her own. Yeah.
She never charges. Yeah. My family will sit around the house with a charger basically right next to them, but they'll use the battery because it doesn't stress the cable. So.
Well, that's awesome. And I do have, it's right here. I recommend every family having at least one of these. It just kind of came up because you said that, stressing the cable. I'm not going to uncoil it because it's kind of annoying. This is a flat one. I got it at Radio Shack when they were going out of Bizwax. This is a 10-foot lightning cable. I say lightning because that's what we have. We have iPads and iPhones. But you can get, obviously, micro USB, I forgot what it's called, or USB-C, long cables, depending on your phone or tablet or computer. A lot of computers charging from USB-C now. But having something, at least one long one. This is actually my second one. The first one is just stationed. That stays at my bed when I use my iPad. It charges my iPad, and then if I ever watch anything, you can, I'm not stressing it by laying on my side and the cable rolling over me or whatever. But having a nice long cable definitely helps. So like you said, you're not stressing that cable. If the power plug is behind you exactly 3 feet away, you don't have to hold your device like this or set it on the back of the couch for it to fall off.
Right.
You could set it comfortably down with extra length.
Yep. And the prices are always up and down, so you can find them on a down price. And
Camel.
Yeah.
You can even throw a Jeezy cable in that, the link to a cable in there, and get, matter of fact, the Philips headphones that I have at home, I had in Camel for probably 6 months, waiting for them to drop down, because normally they were 75 to 100. My purchase price, I was ready to dive in at 50. And actually they got down to 59 once, never to 50 through Amazon. But I work with a guy who loves them as well, and so he sent me the eBay link to one that had them for $49. It was actually, and I didn't know they had this, but it was Newegg.com's eBay page. They use that for clearance every once in a while, apparently. So I got them actually from Newegg, but
have to check that out.
Purchased from eBay. All right, well, that's it for me. Anything else?
Nope, I can't think of anything.
Okay, well, we look forward to seeing everybody next week, where I'm sure we'll have another extremely exciting discussion about probably something.
Probably something. I do agree with that.
Yeah. All right. Everybody take care. We'll see you.
See you. Bye.
I'm trying to end everyone with that creepy face now. And I'm stopping.